part of it. So very powerful.
Shield is just
Make them secure. Yeah.
but,
Anything beyond. It is intelligent enough to understand whether the input is safe, output is safe. You can use shield as well.
ensure that we make it possible. But the thing about that, the thing that really brings all of us together is our customers.
At the Bengaluru Summit, in the past, we were by looking at the overwhelming response we had last year, decided to do it in an even bigger way this year by shifting the venue so we can fit more than twice the amount of people on a field that we have. Thank you for having us look at that. And suddenly, you might be scrambling how do we reinvent this? And something similar happened about 3 months ago. Right? With the biggest configurator, we had from the east, most of the LLM providers from the west coast of America had billions and billions and trillions worth parameter LLM models. And suddenly a disruption happened, and overnight, the entire world was left scrambling. And this goes to some of the cultural nuances in the west and east. We're talking about nuances of culture, of economic constraints that lead to innovation on the east to make things agile.
For Indian languages, it turns out there are 22 scheduled languages as per the constitution. We build models that can represent all of them and also then focus on use cases that India needs. We've been building other models internally, LLMs, speech models, translation models, document models, all focusing on Indian languages. And how this all plays out is to think about models as being in some sense, the bedrock of what companies would need. And on top of it, we are deeply invested in innovating on a few key verticals which we have identified and India deeply needs. The first one is conversational AI, the ability to have low latency voice and sometimes multimodal conversations on the Romanized version of it, we are taking better both things and models and use very techniques to talk us to what it's not just enough to make these models accurate, you need to also make them very fast. We've been working internally to reduce the cost of serving. So here's an example, take a model at 10 to 150 people.
I'm going to be talking about 3 things. Why AI is important to us at Postman, share some interesting things we're doing with AI, and talk about how AWS has helped us in our social support. Quick intro to Postman before we begin. Postman started out in 2014 as an extension on the Chrome web store. Its intent was to simplify working with API endpoints for all the developers out there. We quickly realized that API collaboration was a large but unsolved problem statement. And while working in that domain, we solidified our mission statement, which is to create 100 million net new connected developers in the world. Now this number is not about how many people use Postman.
And today we are at 4th generation of Graviton Core, which is called Graviton. Graviton Core delivers 40% more performance for database workload when compared with Graviton 3. It delivers 30% better performance for web applications as compared to Graviton 3. That's the scale that we are talking about. Almost 50% of new deployments that are happening across the AWS region worldwide in last 2 years are on Graviton. That's scale, that's innovation. But what a good conference technical conference could be when we just talk about things and not store things. So here is a special review for all of you for Graviton Core 6. There is a lot of innovation that goes behind that chip, and I do not have time to go through all of them. So I just want to quickly point you to something. If you see this chip, there are actually consist of 7 chiplets. The one that you see in the middle is actually CPU 4. The remaining 6 are the ones that deal with memory and system bus, providing access. That innovation is helped us because we have 50% more code on this chip. Premium 2 and will consume 40% less energy for the same performance. It's going to be based on 3 nanometer processor. This is the groundbreaking technology that we are dealing with technology. Let's talk a little bit about scale. We talked about Premium 2, Premium 3. We introduced this capability called Premium 5%. What it does, it combines 4 instances of Premium 2 in 2 racks connected by high-speed neural link so that all the instances can access all the memory that is available.
It's unlike the software where you not only have MVP releases it's a serious risk. There are risks involved in this program, and nothing just billions of dollars in R&D. And our partners, who will continue to be our partners, Intel, AWS, and NVIDIA, they're doing the business for like 30 years. And it's not easy to get to payment. And then what the model was trained, we actually fed it to
Good afternoon. Today we are going to talk. Few people are settling down. Let's give 1 minute to them. But today we are talking about Gen AI, and in Gen AI we will be very specific on the agentic AI. Most of you are already aware what is Gen AI. It is a buzzword for last more than 2 years, and now every industry and every technical folks are interested to understand what is Gen AI, want to experiment with Gen AI, and today we will be showcasing or discussing what is Gen AI, what is agentic AI, and how one of what